This is Crystal Falls. Most of this track damage is done from people driving through and the runoff or in the wet season when the ground's still wet and muddy. We did have a look at this track about 2.5 years ago, and I remember we looked at it and thought, nah, it's too much more trouble than it's worth. And looking at it now in very late dry season, we were 100% right, because it's still a bit muddy. And it won't give us any trouble this time around. Might just put a locker on it, just in case the wheels spin a bit. Shouldn't be any problems. Nah. The lockers aren't even turning on and stuff. This is Tipperary on the Douglas River, just upstream from the junction with the Daly River. This is actually, by the looks of it, a crossing, because you can see a track on the other side, and then it goes on to some banks along the other side. And I suspect, so this is basically early build-up we're in now, so that looks crossable to me, that water. I might have a bit of a walk across it in a minute. This is saltwater crocodile country, don't get me wrong, but you're pretty right in this section here. Like we can see the bottom. You're protected by the waterfall there. Very shallow for a long way up there, so if you were careful, you'd be right to walk it, which I'll do. Don't know if I'll bother driving across, to be honest. I'll have a look. This is Crystal Falls. We've been here once before, but we couldn't actually see it because the whole thing was underwater. It was just after Easter. So, again, very clear water. Again, very, very heavy saltwater crocodile country. But I think there are enough shallow rock pools around here that you could probably, if you were careful, get away with a quick dip. For example, right here, I can see the bottom. I would comfortably get in quickly and get out here. So, yeah, we've been here before, we couldn't see any of it. Okay, you're gonna notice the camera works a bit shaky here, and that's because there are march flies fucking everywhere. So you'll see me jump up when I get bitten. But this is the junction of the Douglas River, which you're looking at, and then just up there, I can't quite get it, and I don't want to step any closer to the river for obvious reasons, but there's a march fly. That's the the Daly River that it's joining into just there, and I'll try and see and get another better photo. So this looks like a really good fishing spot, and it looks like where you would 1,000,000% come across saltwater crocodiles. But it's not really accessible, as you can see. So we are going to probably head on, but I'm glad we've got to this spot and had a look at it. Right, the march flies have pissed me off. I'm getting out of here. You can see that a crocodile was spotted 4 metres in size, approximately about this time last year. But to be honest, I don't need a sign to tell me that. You know that they're in there. Again, trying to evade the march flies that are bloody everywhere. But this is the junction, the actual point where the Daly and the Douglas join, or where the Douglas joins into the Daly. And you can see there is the Douglas flowing and terminating into the Daly River. And that's the Daly River going along this side. And I can actually crawl to this point right here. And there it is, point blank range. That is the junction of the Douglas and the Daly. I've had to crawl through some thick bush to get to that point, but I thought I would do it for you guys so you could share in me this experience. And I am getting the fuck out of here because I'm getting bitten to shit by march flies. I'll see you in a bit. Give an idea of the terrain that you're driving around here. One of the tracks we went down, we were getting out to clear overgrowth and branches every probably, what do you reckon, Em, 30 metres, 40 metres? Yeah. So very overgrown, but at the moment the ground's quite hard and dusty because it's been many months since decent rain out here. So we have been out here, as I said, in April of 2023, and it was a very different story. It was very slow going. We were evading mud. We were putting it in low range with lockers on to get through bog holes. This time, nothing of the sort. This time, very, very cruisy, very pretty drive. Just the only problem is the overgrowth, as you can see. But it's nice. I like the Daly River region for this. I think I've said in other videos. It's got a really jungly feel to it, probably more so than any of the big rivers in northern Australia. And unfortunately, that means there's not lots of river access. They're limited spots. But great exploring. I've enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed it, Em?
Yep, good. I enjoyed watching you cut down all the trees.
Yeah.
While I sat in the aircon.
So that was the Douglas Esplanade track. So that obviously hasn't been driven for a long time. So we've pretty well reopened that track and cleared it through driving through it, cutting down a lot of branches. But you can probably drive through it a lot easier now, thanks to us. You're welcome, NT Parks. Well, we've set up camp by the Douglas River, so we came back upstream away from the junction of the Daly and Douglas. This is camp. This is Em wearing her short shorts. And this is the Douglas River. So this is home for tonight. It's just an overnight stop because we are back to Darwin tomorrow and we're off to Singapore the next day. So needed a bit of a stopover. Doing more than an overnight now is quite hot at this time because we're well into build up now. So this is one place where you could probably get away with it because downstream there's some rapids there where you can splash around in. And it's clearly, I think I showed you in another section of the film, you could get away with a quick splash there and keep cool. And build up camping is not easy, but this is one spot you could get away with it. So there we go. Camp. Put on some dinner soon. Just flicking some lures around at the moment. There's bound to be a few barra in there. Can we hook them is the other question. beer can alarm is set. We only have one bait fish, but it is an absolute massive turbo mullet. So he's probably about 35 centimetres long, and you can see the kerfuffle and movement he's making down in the water there. If anything takes this, it's going to be a big fish or a croc. No little fish is taking that bait, I can tell you now. Time to light the fire, eh?
And get me a beer.
Jeez. At camp, we hooked the shark and it busted off just near the shore, which is good because I didn't really want to land it and deal with it. And no barramundi, unfortunately. We also hooked a catfish on a popper lure, which was weird. Never done that before. Em made us a lovely lamb. What was it? Shoulder? Em?
Lamb shoulder.
Lamb shoulder.
Garlic and rosemary.
Yeah. Thanks. And just enjoying the evening now. Oh yeah, we started using, we've changed to this because it's the change of season. So I love cooking on fire, but when build-up season arrives, it's not so fun. So we just use this oven. It's got a non-stick sort of surface underneath, but works as an oven. Butane canisters, and yeah, we cooked oh yeah, and we bought, what was it, the rosemary and lamb shoulder, wasn't it, Em?
Mm-hmm.
So we bought that from Coles, where it's already been slow cooked for a long time, so you just have to heat it up in here, and that makes it a lot easier when you're in the heat, because you really don't want to be spending hours cooking over the coals in this temperature. Still pretty muggy and still at the moment, so we're hoping the temperature keeps going down. It was due to go down to 22 overnight, so that should be alright for sleeping later on. Dawn at Douglas River Esplanade, and it wasn't an amazing night's fishing, but this is worth having a look at. This caddy that we got this morning is probably about 66, 67 centimetres long, and you can just see next to my fist there, my hand, he's really fat, you know. Be careful of those barbs when you're handling catfish. But yeah, we've caught a few little fish, caught a little herring. I can see Barra in there, in the river, following my lure, but I just can't get any strike yet, so oh well. Better get him back in. So what do we got here?
This is a dog and gun coffee. So just thought I'd try it because I've seen it online and I know lots of people use them. I can't open the box at the moment, but they're little individual sachets. Oh, here we go. Little individual packs of coffee. And then we had someone come on camp about 3 years ago and use these. So It's taken us a while to get to them, but we saw them in the camping shop in Catherine and thought, oh, let's get some of those.
So how they work?
So you just put that over your cup and then you just pour your water in and it drips through. So,
And from memory, it's pretty good quality.
yeah, well, it smells good.
As they say, bloody good coffee, apparently.
Yeah, smells nice. Looking forward to trying it.
Yeah, especially with this view. So the consensus is excellent and highly recommend Dog and Gun or whatever you call them. And we'll be getting a few more boxes to take back. Just need to get a few more barramundi now. They're in there, I can see them.